At the moment, the Django startapp functionality doesn't do enough to fill in the defaults in a way that a good Django programmer would recommend. So I created a tool to help me create a new application and fill in all the things that I always forget along the way. So I'm going to create an application called whatever, and first of all it runs the Python manage startup call, and then it asks me if I'd like to create a class. So I'm going to create a merchant, and it says do you want to add an attribute, and so yes, I'm going to add a name, and that's going to be a char. That'll do for now, and I'll add a category for my products, and they can have names, and that'll be a char, and it will have a parent, which will be the ID of the thing. So that's enough of that, and I'll create some products, and they'll have a name, a char, and a text, which can be text. It might also have a category, which will be a type of a foreign key, and it'll also belong to a merchant, and that'll be a foreign key. And finally I might have some offers, and they might have a name of type char, and start time, which is a date time object, and an end time, which is a date time object, and a merchant, which is a foreign key. So having done that, and finished up, it's now created all the files that I need to get going. Rather than just creating the simple models and views, it's gone and if I look at my URLs, it's created an hello world call, which shows how to get started, and a style sheet call. It's turned on the admin for me, and it's shown how to load static documents, something that took me a long time to find. It's created a folder for those static documents, and in my views there's the hello world call with all the standard imports that I'm going to need, and the Python imports that I always use anyway. And this reminds me how to load a template and render it. And this is just an example call because I always forget how to do pagination. And in my models file, we should have some classes here, such as categories, and I can change the default values. There's a foreign key here which I can update, category, and a merchant that I want to be a merchant. And the standard stuff that I can delete quicker than I can create. So if I don't need this, I can quickly get rid of. No, I don't need that. And then it's created a templates folder, and it's also created a base HTML file with these blocks in, and a file that shows me how to do that, so that I could be reminded that extending templates is a better way to go than creating a unique one each time. And there's the style sheet that gets loaded. And so that's done an awful lot more than the standard startup, with all my kind of defaults, the things that I like. I haven't used generic views because I haven't understood those yet and got into them, but I imagine that this might be something that would work well with a more standard approach, by asking you some questions early on and then filling in the details for me to edit later. And that's just the way that I think startup would be a bit more helpful in both getting new people started with Django and also helping the people like me who come back to it with gaps in between and have forgotten a lot of things in between times.